You have probably seen it before. A wall socket looks surprised. A car seems angry. A slice of toast has a tiny face. A cloud turns into a person for 1 second, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Faces are some of the most important signals in human life. A face can tell you if someone is friendly, angry, afraid, familiar, dangerous, sick, bored, or paying attention to you. Reading faces is part of how humans survive socially. Because faces matter so much. The brain has specialized systems that respond to face-like patterns. It does not need a perfect portrait. 2 dark spots and a line can be enough to make the face system wake up. That speed is the key. The brain is constantly predicting what the world is. It does not wait passively for perfect information. It uses shortcuts. It looks at shadows, edges, contrast, and symmetry, then guesses what might be there. Pareidolia is basically a false positive. The brain says face when there is no actual face. But from a survival perspective, false positives are often cheaper than false negatives. So evolution may have favored brains that were quick to detect agents, eyes, and faces, even if they sometimes got it wrong. It is better to jump at a shadow than to ignore a predator, enemy, or hidden stranger. There is also an emotional side. When we see a face, we often assign it a personality. A car with slanted headlights looks angry. A house with round windows looks friendly. A bag with drooping handles looks sad. Babies show this bias early. Even very young infants pay special attention to face-like arrangements. This suggests that face detection is not just something we learn from culture. It is deeply built into how humans attend to the world. When you look at a random object, the visual system sends rough information upward. If the pattern has face-like symmetry, the brain can test the face idea. Top-down prediction then helps fill in the missing details. This makes pareidolia a perfect example of how perception works. Seeing is not just recording the world. Seeing is the brain making its best guess about the world using limited information. Attention changes the effect. If you're actively looking for faces, you will find more of them. A cloud, a tree trunk, a piece of toast, a faucet, a washing machine, and a building can all become characters in your mind. Culture and memory shape it too. People often see familiar faces, religious images, cartoon expressions, or animals in random forms because the brain uses stored templates to interpret unclear input. The internet loves pareidolia because it creates instant participation. You do not just hear about the idea, you test yourself. Once a viewer sees the face in the object, they feel the brain doing the trick in real time, but there is a serious lesson underneath. The same brain that sees a face in a toaster also makes quick judgments about people, danger, emotion, and intention. It is powerful, but it is not perfect. This matters beyond faces. Humans see patterns in markets, weather, luck, relationships, and random events. Pattern detection helps us learn, but over-pattern detection can make us believe connections are stronger than they are. In that tiny switch, you can see the brain's bargain with reality. It chooses speed over perfection. It chooses a fast, maybe over a slow certainty. Most days, that bargain helps you move through the world without analyzing every shadow from scratch. So pareidolia is not just a weird visual trick, it is a window into the brain's deepest strategy. Predict quickly, detect meaning, check for agents, and protect the body before every detail is confirmed. And for a moment, the ordinary world becomes animated. The socket stares back. The clouds smile. The building looks surprised. Not because they are alive, but because your brain is built to find life before it misses it. This strange experience has a name. Pareidolia. It is when the brain sees a meaningful pattern, especially a face, inside random shapes. It can happen with objects, shadows, stains, rocks, clouds, buildings, food, or almost anything with the right arrangement. At first it sounds like a silly glitch. The object does not really have a face, so why does the brain create one? But the deeper answer is more interesting. Your brain is not being stupid. It is doing what it was built to do. Detect meaning fast. This is why a plug socket can suddenly look shocked. The 2 holes become eyes. The 3rd shape becomes a mouth. The brain receives a simple pattern and says, maybe face, before the slower logical part checks the evidence. Most of the time, this prediction system helps you. It lets you recognize a friend in a crowd, notice someone looking at you, or understand an expression quickly. But the same system can also overdetect patterns. Imagine an ancient human walking through a forest at dusk. If the brain mistakes a rock for a face, nothing terrible happens. The person feels alert, looks again, and moves on. But if the brain mistakes a real watcher for a rock, that could be dangerous. This does not mean every face in an object is about fear. It means the brain is biased towards social and survival information. Faces are so important that the brain treats face-like patterns as worth checking. This happens because the brain does not only identify shapes, it interprets intention. It asks, what is this thing doing? What does it want? How should I feel about it? That is useful with people, but funny with kettles and backpacks. The brain region often linked to face processing is the fusiform face area. But pareidolia is not one tiny switch. It involves visual processing, memory, attention, emotion, and prediction working together. That is why once someone points out the face, you suddenly see it too. Your brain was given a prediction. Now the same object is filtered through that idea, and the face pops forward from the background. Sometimes the guess is accurate, sometimes it is playful, sometimes it is wrong. But it always reveals something important. Your experience of reality is built by the brain, not simply copied from the outside. Mood can also influence what you notice. If you feel anxious, ambiguous patterns may seem more watchful or threatening. If you feel playful, the same patterns may seem cute, silly, or friendly. This is why two people can look at the same stain and see different things. One sees a smiling face, another sees a mask, another sees nothing at all. The object is the same, but the brain's prediction is different. That instant recognition is rewarding. The brain likes solving patterns. It gets a little click of meaning when random shapes become something familiar. Pareidolia turns ordinary objects into tiny puzzles. Understanding pareidolia can make you more humble about perception. Your brain is brilliant at filling gaps, but sometimes it fills them with the wrong story. It can see agency where there is only coincidence. That is why pareidolia is such a useful teaching tool. It lets you watch perception being built. One moment the shapes are random. The next moment the brain locks onto a face, and the whole image changes without the object changing at all. But it also means the first thing you see is not always the final truth. Sometimes it is the brain's opening guess. Pareidolia makes that guess visible, playful, and easy to question. The next time a chair looks judgmental or a car looks annoyed, you can read it differently. Your brain is not broken. It is using an ancient face detector on a modern object. That is the strange beauty of pareidolia. It is a mistake, but a meaningful one. A harmless illusion that reveals how deeply human perception is shaped by survival, social connection, and the unstoppable search for patterns.